All right, guys. So Bitcoin had a little bit of a pump this morning, and it might have broken out of its little bit of a holding pattern it's been stuck in. But it looks like it's starting to give up some of its gains. So what's causing all of these price fluctuations? Well, it looks like the biggest thing that happened recently is that Pope Francis died, and I don't know why that's causing Bitcoin to pump, but I guess it's safe to say that maybe I don't understand crypto. In reality, the actual thing that's making markets fluctuate so wildly is probably Donald Trump asking for preemptive cuts and calling Jerome Powell a big loser. He says preemptive cuts and interest rates have been called for by many. With energy costs way down, food prices, including Biden's egg disasters, substantially lower, and most other things trending down, there is virtually no inflation. With these costs trending so nicely downward, just what I predicted they would do, there can almost be no inflation, but there can be a slowing of the economy unless Mr. Too Late, a major loser, lowers interest rates now. Europe has already lowered 7 times, and Jerome Powell has always been too late, except when it came to the election period when he lowered in order to help sleepy Joe Biden, later Kamala, get elected. How did that work out? Well, he's definitely right that Jerome Powell has been late, and he probably will be again. A lot of people have been calling for a recession, and honestly, I think we saw a little bit of a recession last year, but we could definitely dip lower into a recession before they actually do announce that we are in one. Maybe one of the major things Donald Trump has been trying to accomplish by imposing these tariffs is to actually slow down the rate of inflation and maybe even the economy to force Jerome Powell to lower interest rates instead of just telling him to. Now there's speculation that he might actually try to fire Jerome Powell or even end the Fed, but honestly, I'll believe it when I see it. We've still got 16 days or just over half a month until the next FOMC meeting, and in my opinion, I really don't expect Jerome to come out and do an emergency rate cut. And according to these probabilities, it looks like there's an 88.9% chance that he's going to continue with the pause. But if we do start to see some worse than expected economic data coming in, then maybe these probabilities are going to turn, and maybe Jerome is at least going to hint at the possibility of doing a rate cut in their next meeting, which isn't until June 18th. A lot of people, myself included, were expecting Donald Trump to demand those rate cuts as soon as he came into office, but actually he ended up saying that he really wasn't worried about rate cuts, and it seemed like he wasn't trying to get Jerome to cut them. But now the battle is starting to heat up, and maybe we are going to be seeing a little bit of relief continue here as Donald Trump does actually start to demand those rate cuts. But if Jerome Powell denies him, then I don't know if it's going to continue for all that long. I was expecting it to continue to head a little bit lower, especially since we were in this downtrend right here. But technically, we haven't made a higher high yet, and it seems like maybe we've been rejected off of this 200-day moving average right here, with the price top being basically right there today, and us seeing a little bit of a wick with it cooling off in the last couple of hours. If Bitcoin can actually break above this 200-day moving average, then I wouldn't be surprised if it does continue up to like $95,000 or so before reaching a major level of resistance, because as you can see, we did reach some resistance here back on about March 3rd, and it was a pretty significant level of support before that, and when you break down below support, usually it is resistance on the way up. If we do get rejected here and continue to the downside, then I'm still saying that it might be the end of the bull market. But if we can break above that 200-day moving average and continue to the upside, hopefully breaking through this $95,000 range, then we might be in for some new all-time highs before October. And if that is the case, then maybe the 4-year cycles are still intact. But a lot of things have changed. Like how this post by Bitcoin Breakdown says, the founder of the largest asset management company in the world, or BlackRock, says, I own Bitcoin. The founder of the largest hedge fund in the world, I own Bitcoin. The co-founder of the largest company in the world, I own Bitcoin. Your cousin who barely made it through the 12th grade, Bitcoin is a scam. Just remember though, just like 1 or 2 years ago, it was the exact opposite, with normies saying that Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million and all of the rest of these guys saying that it was a scam. In my opinion, when the most influential and powerful people in the world start saying that something is good, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical, because just like with the COVID situation, there's probably an ulterior motive and they might have a hidden agenda. Maybe they're trying to get you to buy in at the top and then sell so that they can use you as exit liquidity. I don't really know, but I do know one thing for sure. Usually these guys don't have your best interest in mind, and they're usually trying to take their money from the retail investor, which is you and me, and they're just not in the business of trying to lift us up and give us good investment advice, especially if we're not paying for it. Whenever the bear market does come, a lot of these guys are probably going to be saying that it's a scam again, and maybe that's a good time to be buying. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin or crypto doesn't have any more bullish price action ahead of it, but as long as Bitcoin is below this 200-day moving average, then technically it's still in bear market territory. If I go back here, you can see that it has dipped down below the 200-day moving average before finding support previously in the bull market, and it can be doing that right now for sure. It's definitely a possibility, but as they say, you never want to panic sell and you never want to buy a falling knife, which is pretty contradictory. Plus, you don't want to be chasing green candles, and nobody ever went broke by taking profits. I don't know if any of this is good investment advice, but it's just the things that people say. But the real lesson that you can take from all of these cliches is that you don't want to be acting emotionally. And right now, a lot of people are saying that we've broken above this downtrend right here and we're going to new all-time highs. So just remember that there is a little bit of resistance above us, and if we do break above it, we can go shooting back up to new all-time highs pretty quickly. But it looks to me like we might be seeing another repeat of the last bull market with a double top formation and maybe even a lower than expected double top back up into new all-time high territories, but not as high as a lot of people are expecting to go. And we still haven't reached the price target for this cup and handle formation, which is still in play, and the top for that would be around $120,000, which basically coincides perfectly with the diminishing returns on this curve descending resistance line, which has basically perfectly marked the top of every single bull market in all of Bitcoin history. If this is going to continue, then it looks like the top might be pretty close to the top that we already saw. And if it goes all the way out until October 13, like I'm expecting it to, based off of the previous 4-year cycles, then it does look like that top is going to be around $120,000. And even if that's not the top, it might just be a really great opportunity to take some profits and lock in your life-changing gains. In the meantime, though, like I said, we have broken above this downtrending resistance line, and it looks like we're reaching a little bit of resistance here at the 200-day moving average. And all of this might have been spurred off by Donald Trump's remarks on the Fed and saying that they need to lower interest rates, but interest rates haven't been lowered yet. And if I know Jerome Powell, he's probably going to fight as much as he can against anything that Donald Trump says, just like he did in Donald Trump's last presidency. Also, this pump might be caused by Donald Trump's remarks toward the Fed, but the S&P 500 has been selling off pretty quickly, and gold has been pumping like a meme coin. But traditionally, Bitcoin has been more correlated to the stock market, and if it's going to continue selling off, and if Jerome Powell comes out and makes any mention that he's not going to be lowering interest rates like Donald Trump is asking him to, then we could definitely be seeing this resistance hold firm. And if we are going to continue to the upside from here, we might continue sideways until we get some clarity on whether the Fed is going to be lowering interest rates and when he might actually do it. I'm not expecting really any clarity to come out until the next FOMC meeting, and even if the Fed does continue with their pause with that 88.9% probability, I think all eyes are going to be on what he says in his speech, and if he does hint at a possible cut in the next meeting, which at the time of recording does have about a 63% chance that he's going to lower by 25 basis points, then that could be around the time when we're going to start seeing things kick off again, and maybe Bitcoin can finally make it to that $120,000 price mark. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that Donald Trump talking about how he wants lower interest rates is going to break us above this 200-day moving average? Or is it going to act as solid resistance and send us back down, or maybe even make us trade sideways until the FOMC meeting? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to do only good every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.